Where does the time go?
It's Flag Day. Isn't today Flag Day?
I'm pull the red, black, and green out.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So yeah, today is Flag Day. Um, boy, I'm like really, I am kind of just stuck that it's like that half of the year is gone already.
Yeah, man, it's moving. It's moving, bro.
Yeah, now it's really gonna start picking up now. I mean,
Yeah.
just because, I mean, hey,
Summer flies by anyway, and then the fall
yeah,
will be here. Next thing you know, it'll be Christmas.
people are outside getting a chance to see loved ones again, and
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's all good. Folk are like enjoying life and moving around, and the vaccine seems to really be holding in America, even against the Delta strain. So
Hmm.
that's good news. But before we get into all of that, let me just tell folk that we are here with the Power Hour, coming to you each and every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. at WURD Radio. You can find us anywhere. Just put in WURD, and trust me, like 20 or 30 or 40 options will pop up. I know right now they're like, don't oversell it. All right, at least 6 or 7 options will show up. Social media places you can hear it, radio stations you can hear it, a tin can and a string.
Yes.
Right. And sitting across from me is Bishop Dwayne David Royster.
And sitting across from me is the Reverend Dr. Mark Kelly Tyler.
Yep, and the glue that holds it together is none other than Kawesa the Queen.
Always.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
Doing okay. Happy Monday.
Yes, welcome to Monday.
Yeah.
And you sound more cheery today on Monday than you did on Friday.
I got a little more sleep, I think, last
Gotcha.
night. Yeah, so yeah, I'm feeling good. Feel pretty good. Good to be here. So yeah.
How was the ride in today?
Not too bad. I did set myself up almost for failure because I forgot to get gas over the weekend. So I did
Ooh.
have to slide into the gas station on my way here. But I still made good time, which was great, even though they were going super slow. Because that's the thing, because Jersey, we don't pump our own gas. So we have to wait for an attendant. Like, I can't just get out and be like, all right, let me pump my own gas because they frown on those types of things in New
And those
Jersey.
moments, that's when you get $5 and you just like keep moving.
Right. So, but yeah, besides that, not too bad. It's going to be raining off and on today. I think we're going to get some thunderstorms a little bit. But as of right now, it's just cloudy. So it feels earlier than it actually is because there's no sun.
Hmm.
And there was like kind of raining a little bit on my drive, but the traffic wasn't too bad.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, thanks, Koichi. Appreciate the update.
Of course.
And good to hear your voice today.
Did you run into any cicadas on the way, Kawesa?
No, but I've been hearing that they've been making appearances in New Jersey, but I haven't seen them, so knock on wood.
Oh, it's an
That doesn't
infestation
happen.
in Maryland.
Oh
It's an
God,
infestation. It's
no.
terrible. They're everywhere. My daughter's graduation was on Saturday from high school, and she graduated from Richard Montgomery High School in Rockville, Maryland. Saying that for Aunt Young because he's down in the DMV, and it was absolutely the cicadas were out everywhere. They were just flying around into people, they're flying everywhere, flying into things. There was a drone that they had at the graduation because they were throwing it live, and the cicadas were flying around the zone because they were attracted by the noise. It was pretty wild.
Well, yeah, I mean, we convinced Leslie to get on the motorcycle. We had some out of town guests who came up, and so we did some riding out like in the country,
Hmm.
and we stopped, and everybody was like, "What is that noise? Like, what is that?" I was like, "Those are the cicadas." And sure
Yeah.
enough, looked around, man, they're like bumping all into us on the bike.
Hmm.
Apparently, they like motorcycles more than city council.
Well, they're blind and they attracted to noise.
Yeah, yeah, they love dirt bikes. The
Hmm.
cicadas.
Wow.
They're not like council.
Oh, I know you're gonna get to that today. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, hey, good morning to our folks on Facebook Live. Glad to see Ed and Kenesha. Oh, yeah, Ed is there. Kathleen, Tawanda, Leslie's listening already, and she knows about those cicadas. Rob Garland, Marvin Hennett. What's up, Marvin? Connie Stewart, Mabel Wellborn, Deborah Robinson, and others are here with us. Chime in and greet us this morning so we can see that you're there. What's up, Raphael is in the house. And YouTube is also with us on this morning as well. Let me ask you, we didn't talk about this yet, but it's Black Music Month.
Oh, wow.
So who are you celebrating musically?
Who am I celebrating musically?
Yeah. If you had one concert that you could go to, past or present,
Prince.
who is it? Prince?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we all took that for granted, didn't we? Kind of thought he'd be around forever.
Yeah, that was really sad, man. That was really sad. And I mean, I understand he does a heck of a concert.
Yeah. Yeah, we had, so I actually interviewed somebody when he died. I can't remember what show I was doing at that time. It may have been Urban Insight, but anyway, we interviewed a friend of the family from Ohio, who I want to say, Leslie will text me and tell me what exactly happened, but I want to say that her and her husband were at the last concert in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
That he was flying back from when he died. Shoot, because the friend was like a huge Prince fan and had seen him multiple times. And
Right.
So she was on talking about just how totally different that last show was compared to all the other ones that she had seen. And that there was really they always talk about right before somebody passes, that it's, something very different about them. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. So you go check out Prince.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I saw Michael Jackson, the Jackson concert when I was 13. When they were no longer the Jackson 5, it was the Jacksons because they lost the name because they left Motown. But that was great. And then I saw Freddie Jackson when I was in college. A Freddie Jackson concert. I was trying to impress some girl. I took her to see Freddie Jackson. I'll never do that again. And then I saw, I don't really go into many concerts other than that. To Tubes back when I was in high school. But, it was cool to, I would love to have seen Prince live because I just understand. I mean, or I would love to see a concert that Prince invaded because he used to invade people's concerts all the time to show up, walk up on stage and start playing with them. I was watching the video the other day. Stevie Wonder was doing a concert. Must have been 50,000 people there. All of a sudden, Prince walks up on stage. Somebody runs up to him and whispers in his ear, and he says, you can see, tell him to come on, and then Prince comes up on stage and starts praying a superstition with him. That was pretty wild.
Wow. All right. Well, look, let's see. On social media, folk are saying John Batiste. Stevie Wonder, of course. And to which Tawanda replies, "We don't deserve Stevie. He's the genius." Connie, you say Luther Vandross, but is that Big Luther or Little Luther? Or Big Luther again? Because you can't just say Luther. I gotta know kind of like where you are. Charlie Wilson, yeah. Queen Bey, Marvin Gaye. Met him when I was a kid.
So Marvin Gaye?
He signed my hat.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Our neighbor, I just told Leslie about this recently because I couldn't remember. I was like, I think I met Marvin Gaye. So sure enough, we met him at the Oakland airport. Back then, the Oakland airport, you could just walk up to it like it was a Rite Aid or something, right? And so our neighbor's mom took us in the back of her pickup, all the kids off the block. And nice. I used to wear this little cap. It was like a captain's hat from like if you captain of a ship. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Had the little green insert. And so I couldn't remember why he signed the inside. So when I called my friend, he's like, yeah, remember your hair wasn't combed and you didn't want to take your hat off. So he flipped up the bill and signed the inside of your hat.
Wow.
The legend flipped up the bill on my hat because my hair was nappy and signed my hat on the inside.
That's cool, man.
But let me tell you, if I could, all right, so two places I would go. One is I would love to go to a big band era, like when the big band era was jumping in the Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah.
See my frat brother, Duke Ellington.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, bro. I mean, like seriously, like one of those like
Coltrane, somebody like
oh
that. Yeah.
yeah, well, Coltrane's like I mean, that's kind of you got to be in a kind of a mood for that. But I would like to go see what the with all I mean the stuff that influenced Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right.
Those with those horns and just like jamming, right? With the zoot suits, ought to have been zooted out. You know that. But if there was a modern concert I could go back to, it would have been the Dave Chappelle Block Party.
Oh, that was cool. That I saw the video. The video. I've seen that movie like 15 times.
If there was one concert I could have gone to, that would be the one.
Absolutely, that would have been it. Well, look, Alex H is saying he wanted to see Charlie Parker, and Nikki O'Tim saying Phyllis Hyman. I would have loved to have seen a Phyllis Hyman concert too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, she could sing. Lord have mercy, she could sing.
Yep, gone too soon. Nobody put the Jacksons on there?
No.
I see somebody say they lost the 5 because of Jermaine.
Yeah, well, no, that was Tawanda. She said said they lost the 5 because of Jermaine. I thought it was because they switched recording studios, but maybe.
Oh,
Bob Marley. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, Judge McCabe. Yeah, glad to see our YouTube folk in as well. Go ahead, continue to post throughout the show your favorites. Kawesa, who's yours?
It would definitely. Oh, sorry. I was grabbing my headphones.
I thought you were stomping on a cicada in there.
No, right? No, for me, it's definitely Michael. Michael Jackson.
Okay. Yeah. Which Michael? Light Michael or dark Michael?
I mean, I'm here for most versions because he started getting a little lighter during the Bad album, but I love the Bad album, and so I'm here for all iterations of Michael Jackson. It didn't impact his ability to make great music. So
Mike J. Yeah, I mean he's gonna always be in the top there. I'm gonna tell you. So yeah, well, my first concert ever. I may have said this on the air before, but my first concert, I was oh man, I don't think I was even 10, and my mother let me for some inexplicable reason go with my older brother and sister and their dates, and I think it was a bunch of our older cousins, and it was me and another younger cousin, and it was Parliament Funkadelic in the 70s.
Oh man. Oh,
and the mothership, bro, first of all, it's amazing we made it out of there with all the contact that we walked into. I probably still had brain damage from that night. I mean, but I will never forget in the Oakland Coliseum the vision of that spaceship coming out of the sky.
Yeah.
And George Clinton jumping out the bop gun. Sir Nose D-Funk running around in a diaper as a grown man with silver boots. I'm talking about, man, to be introduced to the world of live music with that concert. You're barely 10, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, so I have a very high bar of what I expect when I go to a live show.
All right, wait a minute. Your boy Ant just said Terrence Trent D'Arby. Didn't he only put out a song?
He's just too much this morning. Come on, Ant. He's trolling us now. Next he's gonna put Milli Vanilli up.
Yeah. Asa said both Michaels for him. Judge McCabe said Sam Cooke.
You see, my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law said Jelly Roll Morton.
Jelly Roll Morton.
And Fletcher Henderson. Big bands.
Big bands, yeah.
And Florence Mills.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, Sir Noah's Devoted Funk. That's right, Robert Garland.
Sir Nose.
Yes.
Devoid of funk.
Yeah.
I don't swim.
That'd have been the jam. Those were the jams back in the day. That's everybody's barbecue. That's the music they were playing at the barbecue.
I wish we could come. I wish we could go to break on Flashlight. Yeah,
right.
I got you, bro. And then come back on Knee Deep. All right, we got to take a break. It's Black Music Month. And listen, I'm sorry, not Ant Young, Patrick Duff, I see you're listening this morning. Shout out to you for the incredible work you've done to preserve the home that Martin Luther King lived in Camden when he was a seminary student in Chester. And that's a real critical place for his development as the leader he became. Hopefully, at some point this week, we can get you to call in and talk about so let's you and I talk offline schedule an interview, but we got to hear that amazing story and the backstory behind it, and talk about ways people can support preserving that very important treasure. This is the Power Hour. It's 6:21, and when we come back, we'll continue this conversation, talk about some of the news that's happening. Gary Butler says Aretha Franklin and James Cleveland concert.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing Grace. Oh, man, now you're going to make me go watch it. I got it on Amazon Prime. Now you're going to make me watch it. Thanks for nothing. We'll be right back.
Do you have what it tastes to solve Her's flavor mix mystery? One chip, 3 classic Her's flavors, thousands of possible combinations. Pick up a bag of Her's flavor mix mystery and make your guess online today. Your guess could win you $10,000 and a year's supply of Her's. Visit Her's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more info on how to enter. Solve the mystery. Break out the Her's. No purchase necessary. Legal residents of the 50 United States, DC, 18 years of age and older. End 8/31/21. To enter and for official rules, including odds and prize descriptions, visit campaign.rtm.com/Her's flavor mix mystery / void where prohibited.
This is not a fad for us.
We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are
Undeniably,
indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media.
WURD.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent Black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster and Mark Kelly Tyler. We're here Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest in news, happenings around Philadelphia, and, of course, our opinions. And we have plenty of those. So when we don't have opinions, I would be really scared, actually. So anyway.
I have no opinion about what you just said.
I'm sure you don't.
None. I'm about to post into the chat. Parliament flashlight.
Flashlight, down.
You got to have this in your playlist.
Absolutely. Flashlight. Hey, do you remember Le Freak?
Yeah, of course, man. Because who turned that into a sample?
Yeah, I forgot who did it, but
yeah, but somebody used that as a sample, and I can't remember who. Oh man, I know Rob Garland knows, because Rob knows all this stuff about like music, so maybe Rob can remind me. But somebody sampled Le Freak.
Oh, really? Okay.
It became a famous hip hop song. But yeah, man, that's the song right there.
Oh wow, yeah, man. Yeah. I'm having flashbacks now. This is my childhood. I'm like, we talk about those music.
Hey, it's a great. Hey, listen, it's a great celebration, and in fact, I think XM Radio, if I'm not mistaken, is going to do what they did before, and it's going to be all print. They have an all print station for you Prince heads.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they usually kind of have that one thing they're locked in. Oh, yeah, Billy Preston, James Brown, of course. Wow. Got to have those. So, Mississippi is an interesting state.
Lord have mercy.
I just looked on here and I saw online, I saw Kenesha, that's their home state. Her family hails from Mississippi. Ye Mississippi, yea of a whole lot of lynchings and repression. Seems like they're still up to their own shenanigans. What is going on in Mississippi, bro?
Okay. In West Point, Mississippi, there was a high school there that for the first time in history had a black valedictorian and a black salutatorian. It's the West Point High School. Kira Washington and Layla Temple have been named valedictorian and salutatorian for 2021. Two black ladies, people are very excited. It's a proud moment in the school history, and of course, this is Mississippi. However, after there was announced that they were the top-ranked students and would be the valedictorian and salutatorian, two white parents at the high school that they were at started complaining and said that their kids should have been the valedictorian and the salutatorian, Emma Berry and Dominic Borgolia. And after they complained to the school, and then they complained to the school district, all of a sudden they were now named co-valedictorian and co-salutatorian and given the opportunity to speak at the graduation as well.
Oh,
Although
oh my God.
that nobody ever notified the black young ladies that this was happening until the very last minute. So the town has been split along racial lines about this dispute. There's been threats, potential lawsuit alleging a racism. The parents are now suing the school district, and the issue came down to the GPAs. And so Akira and Akira and Layla had the highest QPAs, but all the students had the same GPAs. And so QPA is quality point average because the black girls had taken AP classes where the white students had not taken AP classes. So all of them have 4.0s, but Akira and Layla's quality point average was higher because they were taking AP classes. Advanced placement, they're weighted heavier.
Oh, okay.
So when you're figuring out the GPA, they're weighted higher than just a regular course is. And so this whole thing came down. Parents were upset, students upset. Lawsuits are now flying back and forth. They're claiming racism and all of this. As a matter of fact, one of the young ladies was so upset that she got up on the day of graduation and said, "I'm the real valedictorian." And so that was the comment they made. They were afraid there was going to be a race riot at the graduation. All this, the NAACP is involved in this. And it has been a very difficult situation. It's just been a very difficult time down there in D.C. and not D.C. in West Point. So painful to watch, to read about, to hear about. Painful experience for these young ladies as they're leaving college and leaving high school, headed to college. They're struggling.
Ay, ay, ay. So they win, but then they've got to share it.
Yes. It's like black folk can't ever get anything on their own, right? We always have to share our stuff with everybody else.
Oh, boy.
Or we win and folk question it, right? And the issue is more like, so these two girls were named valedictorian, salutatorian, and then immediately it's questioned their validity. Like it's that implicit bias that says they really can't be good enough. They can't be better than our kids to be able to do this. Now these parents did not know these kids. They don't know what their GPAs are. All that stuff is private, right? Other than the fact they can announce what their GPAs or QPAs are. But immediately these two parents, they get upset and they start, challenging everything that's going on. Because black kids evidently can't be better than white kids in West Point, Mississippi.
Oh, boy. So Bernita says another example of poor leadership. Yeah, I would say on the part of the school capitulating to the demands of some angry parents who are standing there stamping their feet and fussing in the principal's office or whoever's office who made this decision, the counselor. And you're right, poor leadership. Stand up, but they're afraid. I mean, this is Gulf Point, Mississippi. No, West Point, Mississippi.
West Point, Mississippi.
Yeah, I'm thinking about down on the Gulf, but West Point, Mississippi. But Will Megan, on the other hand, just likes the fact that he said, "That's dope," with her hand on her hip. I'm the real winner. You know that. Yeah, it wouldn't have been right without her hand on her hip, right? The other hand pushed another girl out of the way. Excuse me. There is a valedictorian. There is not valedictorians. One. Yeah. Pick one. She said, "I'm her."
Well, one of the issues that came up in all this, too, is that Emma Berry, one of the white students, is a descendant of the co-founder of Bryan Foods, which was the largest employer in West Point. And even though their business left West Point ages ago, the family still has a lot of influence in the area. As a matter of fact, some of the local institutions bear the family name. And this is coming out of New York Times. And so, people are sort of like, well, this is because this family with all this political influence is complaining that, their child, grandchild, the town parents, the town fathers, progeny was not allowed to speak at the graduation. And using that influence to be able to do what needed to happen. This is really horrendous. This is not a good way to go out of high school.
Well, I mean, listen. Well, I mean, I kind of think it might not be so bad because this is probably one of the most real lessons they ever received.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, it's like, do we prepare them for the world we wish they'd be living in, or do we prepare them for the world that they are going to be living in? And so, what you need to know, young ladies, is that even when you win and do your best in this world, as soon as you win, AKA, no pun intended, Kamala Harris, you really didn't win. No, I actually won. What do you mean you won? Yes, there were millions of ballots that weren't counted. There were millions of ballots stolen and hidden. And so I really won. No old man and a black woman beat us. We won. We're also the president and vice president. Make us co-president and co-vice president. Barack Obama, you didn't win. You weren't actually born here. We got a Kenyan birth certificate. You weren't born in Hawaii. Hawaii, that's not even a real state, right? I mean, this is like literally. I mean, you have the two extremes, right? From high school. And you got the presidency and vice presidency being, discredited once we have won legitimately. And then there's everything in between. How many stories do black people have where this has happened to them, where all of a sudden you get the job and it's, well, we're going to have co-leaders on this project.
Yep.
Never been that before, ever. Where did this come from?
Yep.
Well, let's try co-directors. Co-directors? We were hiring a director. Yeah, but we didn't know the committee was going to go this way. Let's do co.
Very painful. Very painful. And it's just not helpful.
Well, I'm just saying I mean, I just think that it is definitely, it is good. It's good learning, sadly. But it's good learning because you all need to know the real world that you're going into. And it's better to learn it now at 17 or 18 and be ready for what to expect when you walk out of the doors of that high school at West Point, Mississippi, for what you're going to face and what you got to fight. Because these are the forces that we still have to go against and that we still have to wrestle against. I mean, Will was commenting on my T-shirt this morning, which is a Bike Week T-shirt from Daytona. And I wore it intentionally in support of dirt bike riders here in the city of Philadelphia, who I just really feel like are being, I would agree that, the ways in which, people ride in large packs, it can be dangerous. It definitely is a nuisance and all that. But the ways in which the city is going after them, I just think is patently unfair and would not be the same case if this was a problem in a different community and if the people complaining were, let's say, different. Let's say it's like a group of young white kids who keep riding their dirt bikes in a black neighborhood. Would we have gone to that extreme, or would we have found a different way to try to kind of alleviate the problem, so to speak? Probably so. And you say, well, where do you get that from? Well, I don't know. It's like a drug problem in Kensington. It's like mostly white people out there nodding and dying of overdoses. And there's clearly a different way that we're handling that illegal situation. Right. And every time somebody dies, which happens multiple times a day, we don't take that one death or two deaths and then all of a sudden say, see, this is why we have to just come and round everybody up and lock them up and take away their drugs. No, we actually then say, oh, see, this is why we have to be more compassionate because people are dying. There was a story this weekend in the wake of the new law. And so apparently there was it was not just dirt bikes, but there were cars out there racing as well. Have you been on Broad Street on a Friday or Saturday lately?
No.
Bro. If you don't have a car that can like run with something with a Hemi engine in it,
Right.
just take 13th or like 15th on the other sides. Don't get on Broad Street.
Oh wow. They're
I
running
mean,
that during the pandemic. They
man,
were running that. No traffic.
they are those Chargers and Challengers.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh my Lord. I'm talking about, bro, they running them. I mean, just, and they hitting like, you know, like massive speed. So
Right.
it was like that kind of gathering. So there were cars racing, there were bikes out there riding. So all of this is going on. And so there's some intersection in this with the work that Power Live Free has been doing on the media and the ways in which they report gun violence and the poor job they tend to do around black folk.
Right.
So the real story is that sadly, a man was shot and killed at that event.
Mm.
He's sitting on his motorcycle. He's not even riding. He's just sitting there and was shot in the head and killed. Now, unfortunately, that's all I can tell you about what happened to him or anything, because there's nothing about him. They used that story to then reinforce the need to stop dirt bike riding.
Oh wow.
What does somebody being murdered have to do with people riding dirt bikes? That was never the intent of the bill,
Right.
to stop murders. I mean, it's like a man got murdered in a bodega. So do we get rid of bodegas now?
Mm-hmm.
Children got shot in schools. Do we get rid of schools now? I mean, it's so, the way it has been reported this morning is so poor and so irresponsible. And it does a great disservice to the fact that somebody lost their life Saturday night.
Right.
And that person's story needs to be told. You know, the person who shot and killed him got away, and they said rode off on a dirt bike, ATV, or motorcycle.
Oh, there's a difference between each of those. There's a big difference between each of those. Anybody that knows the culture knows that there's a definitive difference between the three.
But as Connie reminds us, South Philly's street neighborhoods, Society Hill and Queen Village in particular, came out leading the complaint by white citizens about dirt bikes, and council said, you want us to jump? How high? Tell us how high. Yeah.
Unanimously approved that. Let me just say that, unanimously.
Yeah.
So for all the progressives out there,
Yep.
they're giving me grief right now.
Yep.
I just want to know, all y'all signed off on legislation that you know is going to get black kids in trouble.
And possibly killed.
Yep. That you know is going to cause a problem for them.
Who thinks it's a good idea to take the gloves off of Philly police and tell them to start chasing black kids on dirt bikes in Philadelphia? Do you honestly think that's going to make you safer, people? I trust dirt bike riders speeding through the city more than I do Philly cops.
That's right. I totally agree with you on that.
And by the way, Philly cops have killed more people than dirt bike riders, just for the record.
Wow.
Ain't nobody talking about getting rid of them.
Wow. But that's not true. There are people that are talking about getting rid of them, but the powers that be don't want to hear them. That's the difference.
They probably say he's such a sarcastic blank, blank, blank. You're right. I can't help it. But it's true. You know, it's just, you can't, so it's like, one thing happens and it is a particular thing, and then you generalize an entire group of people because of it. Yeah. You can't do that. Because if you do that here, then you have to do that everywhere. You can't do that. It's irresponsible.
I feel like there should be a mass dirt bike ATV protest blocking up Broad Street, Market Street, the south side of Broad Street around City Hall, but the cops would just have a field day.
Yeah, they might.
Of course, if they start riding, they couldn't catch up with them. But anyway.
Yeah, so Tawanda says, okay. I'm sorry, real quick. Tawanda just said the news reported the story to match the legislation. And that's right. So you took the story of a black man who was murdered. I'm assuming he's black because I don't know any other details, but so you take the story of a man who was murdered as kind of the pretext to talk about what you really want to talk about. And then you spend 5 to 10 minutes on this legislation, and you bring in people who supported the legislation. It has nothing to do with the fact that this man was murdered.
Mm-hmm. Nothing. Nothing. So I think I want to begin a protest against all these super sustainable bike riders that are riding through the streets of Philadelphia and feeling like they own the road and refuse to stay in the bike lanes. What do you think?
Oh my God. First of all, bicyclists are the worst.
They're terrible.
Man, they run red lights and stop signs like they don't even exist. And then look at you with an attitude if you almost hit them.
Yes.
And I'm not, okay, let me be clear. That was a gross generalization, I know. And so, but it is more than just like one or two.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Bicyclists will have to admit this, that, I mean, I could actually probably go take my phone today, stand anywhere down in Center City, and just Queen Village or somewhere, and just like start videotaping and watching bicyclists just disregard, all of the signs that are meant to, that they should observe as well. Right. But again, ain't nobody talking about getting rid of all the bicyclists because they keep breaking the law.
They don't need a license. They don't need a license plate. Maybe we should require them to have a license plate and a license. Okay, I'm being difficult. Thank you.
No, it's all right, man. Look, it's 6:41. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, hit the share button for us as well, folks. We'll start looking ahead for the week to come because, again, it's only Monday. And talk about a couple other things that are kind of top of mind this morning. This is the Power Hour. Welcome back from the weekend. We'll be right back.
COVID's put life on pause way too long. Vaccines prevent nearly 100% of hospitalizations and death from COVID-19. So far, over 100 million people have decided to press play by getting theirs. And now everyone 12 and older can get one. Keep listening for vaccine locations close to you or text your zip code to 438-829. Message and data rates apply. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Solomon Jones. I'm the morning drive host of Wake Up with Word here at WURD Radio in Philadelphia. This time last year, we couldn't go to work, school, church, or even out to eat. We were all separated and trying to be safe at home. People we knew and loved were getting sick and dying from COVID-19. Well, now there's a vaccine. It's safe, it's available, and it's free. Get the vaccine. It's the right thing to do. Think about those who got sick or died. Think about what they would tell you to do. And then do what I did. Get your free COVID-19 vaccine at blackdoctorsconsortium.com.
Tune in to More Than That with Gia Peppers live this Sunday, June 20th at 1 p.m. or wherever you listen to podcasts. This Juneteenth episode of More Than That is sponsored by General Motors as a part of their commitment to becoming one of the most inclusive companies in the world. Everybody in.
Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Some volume picks up a bit here in Philadelphia. Schuylkill eastbound Blue Route through the curb, busy city. Through the boulevard again, a little slower on South Street westbound side. Broad to Pass Young jamming through construction and delays further west around the curve to Conshohocken. Westbound Vine 8th out the Broadslow Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Southbound Boulevard broad down to Fox. A bit of a slow ride there. Southbound 95 Copman down the bridge. You're jammed again. Delays heavy. Betsy Ross through Girard. Northbound looks good. 55 northbound getting jammed from Deptford into 42. Now is the time to get a new job. Express Employment Professionals never charge job seekers a fee. There's more than 35,000 job openings with high demand in construction, driving, logistics, and administrative jobs. Find the location near you at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. Dwayne Royster and Mark Kelly Tyler. Hey, WURD family, welcome back. It's time to reawaken, reopen, and renew. WURD Radio is kicking off our annual Early Bird Special. We have stood together every step of the way during the pandemic. Here at WURD, our hosts and producers, our elders, parents, children, teachers, doctors, and community leaders stood up, shared resources, and supported each other through the airwaves, virtual events, and of course, the phone lines. We stayed connected by every means necessary. Let's welcome the new season, the reopening of our city, and our new normal together. Stand with us. Join and renew your sustaining WURD membership for the special price of $75. Or if you just want to support the work we're doing, there's now an option to become a digital WURD member for as little as $5 per month. Visit wordradio.com/earlybird. The Welcome Black Early Bird Special runs now through June 19th. So come on, become a part of the WURD family and get benefits of listening to WURD Radio on a regular and consistent basis, have access to all kinds of materials, special events, and swag. So you get out there and you can lift up WURD, let people know you are intentionally black 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, you can make an issue out of anything, any word, to make it a black thing. T-shirt, tennis shoe, popsicle.
There you go. There you go.
Man, as a quick aside, earlier story, Kawesa's concert that she would have gone to would be any Michael Jackson concert. ABC.
Not dark skin Michael or light skin. This is any
Just,
Michael Jackson.
Just
concert.
MJ.
Okay, got you.
So, so Rob Garland said he's that bicyclist. Apologies in advance. So Rob Garland, tell us if we're wrong. I mean, I have never seen a bicyclist receiving a violation from a police officer in my almost 20 years in the Philadelphia area. Has anybody?
I don't know about that. No.
I mean, I've seen them like run through stop signs and red lights, like, and don't even talk about the ones who deliver food with the little electric bikes.
Right.
And they think they're like motorcycles or dirt bikers or something. I mean, they never stop and almost like run people over. But again, it's like kind of, they're just treated as, oh, they're just bicyclists, but they're dangerous. You get hit by one of those, and it's a lot of, it's a major issue. And so, but there is a way in which I think that we unfairly associate all of these negative things just with motorcycles in general. Casa Hu was saying, I'll just read the quote directly. It's always two sides to everything down here, and the bad side of the dirt bike riders, they're thugs on wheels that carry guns to go against their own people. Well, I mean, I would imagine some of them do fit that description, but I can't imagine that's everybody. I mean, they're thugs with guns who go against their own people, who take SEPTA, who walk, who drive, who Uber, who Lyft. I mean, but again, it's like, I don't know, there's just like a built-in animosity. It's like people either love or hate bikers.
Yep.
And if you just hate them for some reason, it's just like, you just like write the entire community off as like just bad people. And I'm like, nah, it's not really what really happens. People just love riding two wheels. That's pretty much it. And I think the missed opportunity with the city is this, and this is why I bring it up, that again, right now, our mural arts program, I've said it before on this program, but I'll keep saying it until somebody hears it. Mural arts began as an attempt to deal with the problem of illegal graffiti on buildings, on trains, etc. in this city in the early 80s. They took a real problem, defacing public property and private property with graffiti, and they saw in them extremely talented artists. And the leadership of that formed into mural arts. And to this day, muralists from around the world all agree that the premier platinum standard for mural programs for public art in any city in the country is Philadelphia. And you know why that happened? Because they engaged the artists, people called them thugs. People called them criminals. But they sat down with them. Like, why are y'all tagging all this stuff? Well, we don't have anywhere else to paint. Really? How about that old building right there? It's ugly. We'd love to see something else on there. Oh, we can use that building? Sure. Oh, let's go try another building. And all of a sudden it became something that really made everybody proud. The issue that I have with the way that this approach was done is that you started with white neighbors complaining about a black problem that was enhanced because of COVID. Because now everybody is home, and kids don't have anywhere to go, so they're converging in neighborhoods. They weren't going in. People are home to hear it, and it becomes an issue. you complain, but nobody took the time to sit down with these young people to find some alternatives. And it is a missed opportunity. Shame on city council for having a knee-jerk reaction and just jumping because white community groups said so.
Yeah, they don't jump when other community groups say so.
Ah.
So, I mean, that's really very problematic. And I go back, for there's certain members of council to which, we would think would have looked at this a little bit deeper and said, hey, there's some real problems with the way this legislation is going to be handled, how it's going to be met out. And there's, you're targeting a specific audience that's a specific racial group in the city that's, generally their communities are underfunded, schools are underfunded, resources in their areas are not top notch, and now you're just going to make targets of them. We do everything we possibly can, continually criminalize black folk. We just in general, whatever it is, and whatever black folk are doing at the moment, we're going to criminalize.
The same people who were out there marching with us about George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, David Jones, don't see the connection behind what they're calling for, because what you're calling for in this case is enforcement. Well, who's the enforcement arm in the city?
The police.
You want confiscation. Who's going to do the confiscating? Who's going to take them?
Police.
Right. Not the community elders, but the police. So we already know we have a problem with law enforcement and the black community in Philadelphia. And so let's say, we want to then take the gloves off and send them in to, there was a part of the provision even says this. I don't know if you read this part of the law. There's a part of the provision that says your bike can be confiscated, not only if they catch you in the act, but if they suspect that your bike has been illegally ridden recently.
What are they going to do? Run up and touch to see if the engine's warm?
I'm just telling you how it's written and how I read it. So I'm like, you're giving the police a large, a lot of leeway and latitude in engaging with people that is going to come with a lot of, friction. It's one thing you catch somebody in the act riding. It's another thing you roll up and it's leaning against the wall and they're like, yeah, we just saw this bike, we're taking it. It's like, what? You ain't taking my bike. First of all, these bikes are expensive.
Yeah,
these are $4,000 or $5,000 easy for a used one. You can, some of these go to up to $10,000 new. So you're not talking about insignificant amount of money. And so all I'm saying again is, if we're going to be creative enough to think outside of the box, like, oh, we got an illegal drug problem, let's not arrest people, let's not go after the dealers, let's just open up Amsterdam and everybody can get high, and if you overdose, we'll bring you back to life until you decide you don't want to do this anymore. If we can get that creative about illegal drugs, can't we get a little bit more creative about this, y'all?
Just a little bit.
Yes, y'all. You don't stop. Tying it all back into Black Music Month. To the top, y'all. We don't stop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that would be very nice. We lack imagination, innovation, and creativity in the city.
Well, Casa says art doesn't kill people. You think?
Oh, geez, Casa, like all.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. I can't read the whole thing, so I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's a deeper thing. I think Casa was replying to somebody else. So, but that first part caught me. Yeah, Tawanda says some police captain has already developed a strategy to round up our folk with this mess. You best believe it.
Some of them just been waiting for the opportunity.
You best believe it.
Waiting for the opportunity.
We will be on the air, unfortunately, talking about a story, and I'm going to see a whole lot of stuff in the chat, and y'all going to say, Rev, you said it. You called that one. I'm not a prophet. I'm a historian. And the historian in me tells me I have seen this before, and it's not going to end well. And all the same city council people will say, the commissioner should resign. They shouldn't have gone that far. You told her to do it.
Yes. Let me just respond to Aunt Young. This does not apply to regular motorcycles that are registered and insured in the state of Pennsylvania. So there are dirt bikes that you can actually get insured and registered, and they would not apply to them. It's only the ones that are ATVs and dirt bikes that are not registered and not insured in the state of Pennsylvania. All right, everybody. Well, that's it for day number 1 of the week of June 14th. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest in news, happenings around Philadelphia, and, of course, our opinion. Thank you, Dr. Tyler. Thank you, Kawesa. Thank you, everybody that's listening to us on the air through the app, those that are checking us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Also, thank you to everybody that's listening to us through Alexa. Hey, Alexa, turn on WURD Radio. We appreciate you listening to us. We'll be back. I already said that. Tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for tomorrow morning. Later tomorrow. Okay, it's been a long weekend, y'all. Stay tuned for Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones. Listen, do us a favor. Go ahead, Mark. What are you going to say?
Shout out to your grandson who I got to see this weekend, Christopher.
Listen, go out, change the damn world, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.